online, PhillyDrinkers.com. The Philadelphia Phillies will re-sign JT Realmuto. This is the hottest issue. I think JT Realmuto is the best free agent on the market. That's why we put him with the poll. Comes out from Jason Stark, Hall of Fame journalist, that the Philadelphia Phillies have offered a 5-year excess of $100 million contract. I kind of balked to see if that's true, not because Jason Stark isn't a great writer, but if that's what they offered him and that's what he's looking for and he wants to be here, why isn't it done? Why isn't he signed? I do agree with this poll, Brad. I think JT Realmuto, along with Didi Gregorius, come back to Philadelphia. And I got to say, a lot of people are counting the Phillies out. It's easy to count the Phillies out because, it was just so bad last year with the pitching. But I kind of like where this team's going. If they can get Realmuto and Gregorius back.
They've got a little cleaning up they have to do. Okay, because if they go into the season with the team that they have right now, they're going to end up coming in last place of that division. They have got to bring it. That division is a very, very tough division now. From top to bottom, you've got good teams now, and the Phillies, they have to get Realmuto in there to keep guys close and not let them run. And it's not just that; it's his bat too. I mean, the Phillies need that bat. It's not like their lineup, the rest of their lineup is that good that they can afford to lose a bat like that. And a bat like that behind home plate is just huge. I mean, as a Yankee fan, we've been used to having guys like Posada and Sanchez, although last year he was horrible, and I'll be the first one to tell you. But Sanchez, as bad as he was, did have 10 home runs and 25 RBIs, although his average was terrible. So, I mean, the whole point that I'm trying to make is in that position, guys who can hit are so rare, and guys who can hit and catch also are almost impossible. So I just think that's vital for them to get him. And now that the Yankees have signed DJ LeMahieu, I think the coast is clear for the Phillies to go out and bring in Didi, get him back in there. I mean, look, to get them both, it's probably going to cost you between $40 and $45 million. But you know what? I mean, they were spending that money anyway. They got Jake Arrieta off the books, which he's a waste of time.
Terrible signing.
Yeah, I mean,
terrible signing.
You got rid of him. You got rid of Robertson. So I mean, you've opened up about $40 million. Okay, last year you were already paying Didi 15 and Realmuto 10. So I mean,
I'd have to look it up.
Let's just say it's pretty close to that. I think that's pretty accurate. So you figure if you were paying them $25 million last year and you pay them $45 million this year between the two of them, okay, you got rid of JT Realmuto and David Robertson, so you've already saved yourself $39 million right there. So if your payroll goes up like $6 million this year, come on, you want to be a competitive team or not? You can't think that just signing Archie Bradley is enough. Archie Bradley is good, and
great move.
Archie Bradley is very good, but he can't do it by himself. They're going to need to if he's going to be the closer, which I suspect with the talent that they have, I would think that he's going to be the closer right now. They got to build a bridge to him. Somebody else needs to be there. If I were them, I'd go all in and try to get Brad Hand. I think that would be huge, because then you could have two guys that could take the 8th and the 9th inning, and if you have the lead after 7 innings, you're going to win. So
this is the Dombrowski. Like I was very pessimistic. I was really optimistic they were going to sign JT, because you can't let him walk after giving up, crucial pieces of the farm system to get him. And then Cigar Boy, John Middleton, he's like wimping out on the luxury tax because there's no fans. And then they hired Dave Dombrowski, Brad. And Dave
Dombrowski does. Okay,
he's aggressive.
Yeah, Dave Dombrowski is if he gets the green light to pay some players, he's going to go out and he's going to get them, because that's what he does. And
Brad, don't you think that if he didn't have the green light to spend a little bit of money, he wouldn't have come here to take the president of baseball operations here in Philadelphia?
You would think so, and I would think that Middleton would trust him, because you know what, Dave Dombrowski has been very successful as a GM. He won a championship with Boston. He got the Detroit Tigers to the World Series. I mean,
They won, didn't they won?
No, they lost. They lost.
They didn't win?
No, they lost to the Cardinals. If you recall, they lost to the Cardinals. But if you look at how that team was built, I mean, he brought in Curtis Granderson. He brought in Miguel Cabrera. I mean, he knows that man knows talent. Okay.
What's Don 19? Are you sure Dave Dombrowski didn't win a World Series as the Tigers GM?
Yeah, I'm positive. Positive. Tigers haven't won a World Series since 1985. So, I mean, I'm positive about that.
Well,
but they got to the World. The whole point is they got to the World Series. They just were unlucky. Sometimes, it's not easy to win the World Series. So, but still, they were ultra competitive. He won the World Series in Boston. And I mean, listen, if you take a look at the Boston Red Sox, under his guidance, they drafted Betts, I believe. I think they also brought in Bogarts. I mean, all those guys that they brought in, he had the cojones to go out and spend the money on JD Martinez. He brought in a lot of those guys. He brought in Chris Sale. Now, obviously, now all those moves look horrible because they're all bad. But you know what? They did win a World Series, and you know what? The whole bottom line in baseball is winning the championship, and he did that, and he's gotten there, and he's won it. And his teams are always competitive, and as long as Middleton is willing to spend a few bucks, okay, and be flexible, the Phillies are going to be competitive with this guy as a